Good morning, campers. So, today I want to talk to you about lessons, relationships, karma, cycles, reflection, learnings, and so on and so forth. So, just to give you a little bit of a background, because I've watched a video, there's sort of a trigger to download that I want to share with you. Yesterday, I've seen a video of this beautiful gentleman saying that there's a lot of men that most men would love to be with a soft woman, with a nurturing woman, with a caring woman, but they themselves don't provide the qualities, the security, the stability, the safety for a woman to be in her true divine feminine. And it's very true because I explained this true divine love dynamics to you many times, and you can also read about this on my website. But it's basically all that is. In order for a woman to truly be able to drop into, in a relationship, to drop into her divine feminine, to be caring, to be nurturing, to be soft, to be very devoted to her man, to be really in her heart space, we require to feel safe. We require a man that will provide security and stability, but on an energetical level. It's not just about, I always talk about this, it's not just about abundance and finances. It's about, I feel safe with you. I feel safe that you're not going to lie to me, that you're not going to walk away from me, that you're going to stand by me, that you respect me, that you feel to your very core that we are equals, that we are partners, and that you understand that our dominion is 5D, your dominion is the physical world, and in this physical world you protect me. And this is where a woman feels comfortable to drop into her feminine and be really loving, really soft, really caring, really nurturing, and provide that space for the masculine to be vulnerable. And the wheel sort of continues. As we provide these things to them, they only grow stronger in their masculinity, right? So this is true divine union. And he mentioned this, and I agree with this, that many men want this and this and this and that, but they don't provide the environment for that. But it goes both ways. There are many women who want a man who's going to provide security, stability, who's going to be very masculine, but they themselves, they're insecure, they're controlling, they're obsessive, right? They're not in their divine state. So it really works both way. But what he mentioned also in this video was that if you are not able to step into your divine masculine, you're going to lose this woman and you're going to watch her walk away. And this is where that softest, beautiful woman, right? You're going to watch her walk away. This is where I disagree, and hear me out. And this is going to be something that it's a message for those of you who are ready to heal, who are ready for self-reflection, deep self-reflection. Most people, I talk about this all the time. Unfortunately, most people are in denial, right? So most people, this is going to trigger you, you're going to swipe. If you're ready for self-reflection, really hear me out, because this is something that can take you out of your karmic cycle. True divine feminine woman, a woman who is healed, who has done her healing, her shadow work, who has healed her womb, who has risen into her power, who understands what femininity is about, self-love, stillness, receiving, connection to God through her portal, would never for 5 minutes entertain energy of a man that doesn't seize that and doesn't appreciate that has flaky, non-committal, ridiculous energy. Do you know why? Because she herself is already in inner union. So, I love you, I don't love you, regardless. True divine feminine, the core of true divine feminine is self-love. And when we love ourselves, we only allow into our orbit and into our life what is a match to our frequency. We don't accept disrespect. We don't accept a man that makes us feel insecure, that we have to pursue him. That's masculine energy, that we have to be worried whether he's gonna come back home or he's gonna disappear, he's gonna suddenly, have cold feet. We don't. We don't. So that woman that he mentioned, that she's gonna walk away from you, is not in her divine feminine. She still has work to do. She still has shadow work to do. She still has her own wounding. And this is what I want to explain to you. And I always say this. We only attract partners and accept partners that are a match to our vibration. And many times you see relationships, man or female, it doesn't matter. It's not always the man that is the perpetrator, right? It's a misconception. I know a lot of beautiful men who are in relationships with so much more distorted women. But again, if that happens, there's a distortion on both ends. There is no other way. There is no other way. True divine, masculine or feminine, will never entertain energy below their own, because we'd rather be on our own. We're healed, we're comfortable, we're everything, we're oneness with the universe. We don't need partner. We only accept true soul connection. So we don't entertain BS. And sometimes you see relationships where there's a huge gap and disproportion, right? So let's say you're going to have this man who's a cheater, who's really disrespectful, maybe even abusive. It's a horrible person, and he's in a relationship with a woman that to an outside observer, it seems like she's a sweetheart, she's such a kind-hearted, good person, right? So why is this happening, you would ask? She deserves so much better. But you know what I always say? This journey of life, this school of life, is not about what we deserve. Is about what we need to grow, to see our shadows, to expand. So you cannot really say that, why is this happening? It is happening because she allows that. She is allowing that. No excuse is never good enough. No excuse that we, have children together, that we've been together for a very long time. If you allow this energy, if you allow a man that comes in, goes out, cheats on you, disrespects you, is egoistic, doesn't see you, doesn't value you, doesn't respect you, is because you don't respect yourself. Vice versa goes same to a man. If you respect a woman who's controlling, who's, some women also can be abusive in relationships, who's like cheating on you, who's manipulative, who's very distorted feminine energy, is because you have a level of distortion that you haven't healed. Okay? And now I want to explain the cycle things to you, because sometimes many people don't see that. They feel like this is just a bad karma that I have to pay, and so on and so forth. We can choose to pay our karma in a moment, okay? Like that. And that moment is called self-love. The moment you understand karma is on a physical level. Self-love comes from a level of a spirit. The moment you love yourself, you automatically pay off all your karma. Because you love yourself enough to say, no, I'm worth more. It's the shadow that pushes us to those relationships. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes it does happen that there's this big disproportion, right? So let me explain you why this disproportion happened. And I talk about this as well many times to you guys. Most people are on repeat, cycles on repeat, because they're not seeing a pattern. Lessons come towards us in a variety of shapes and forms. Okay, so if you have a specific lesson to learn in life, this lesson is going to try to reflect itself to you in romantical partners, in friends, in job situations, in romantical partners that to an outside observer, it can seem like they're completely different people. But the core lesson is going to be same. It's going to be linking you and trying to guide you and navigate you towards the same shadow. Now, when you are given an opportunity in a karmic relationship, to see a shadow of yours that you need to heal. Let's say the shadow is lack of self-respect, or is codependency, or is anxious attachment style, whatever that is. You're given an opportunity, right? So you're encountering a karmic partner, you enter a relationship with this person. If you're gonna break up with this person without learning that lesson, without seeing that lesson, universe acts on our highest benefit. Universe knows, okay, your little soul decided that you want to learn this. Apparently, you have not seen this in this lesson. So, I gotta amp up the volume here. I gotta really make it a little bit more intense. So, bam, it's gonna hit you harder. On cycles, as long as we repeat, they get harder and harder and harder and harder. So a woman who accepts, for example, she has no boundaries, no self-respect, she respects disrespect, she accepts cheating. Maybe in the beginning, your first partner is going to be someone who maybe loved you, but they got confused, they cheated on you, you accepted that. Your next partner is going to cheat you twice. It's going to cheat if you continuously, and it sometimes goes lifetime for lifetime, so you may not realize that. But at the end of this journey, if there's a pattern that you are repeating, and I always say this to you guys, I always recommend to, like, if I have people on session, what you have to do, if you have to ask yourself, what was my motivation to be with this person? Oftentimes, this is what shows you your shadow. Did I enter a relationship because I didn't want to be alone? Because I maybe felt that this person is going to protect me because they had, maybe more money, more stability. Maybe because I didn't want people to think that I'm weird because I'm alone. Maybe because whoever I meet, I immediately fall in love with, right? Analyze this. It's very potent to the reason you enter a relationship, to show you your shadows. But if you constantly refusing to learn, by the 5th, 6th, 7th cycle, the universe is going to hit you with something that to an outside observer is going to look like, oh my God, why is this beautiful person, this amazing man, accepting this woman who is dominant and controlling and manipulative and constantly lies and so materialistic? Or other way around, why is this woman accepting this man who's like constantly cheating and disrespecting her, and he doesn't treat her as equal, he treats her as a doormat? Here's your answer. A core question is, why is this man? And many people get stuck here because they say, but it's a fault of this worst person. But I always say this to you guys, on a journey of life, we're never going to heal if we point finger towards another. This other person can be truly the worst person on planet Earth. It's their journey. It's their lesson. It's their lesson. The question is, why do you accept this? Why do you accept this? Right? So really think about this in the perspective of your previous relationships, because we see this all the time, right? We see these people, unfortunately, oftentimes is women, situations that they're really stuck in a relationship that it's not a fulfilling relationship. It's not a beautiful relationship. It's not an equal relationship. They're being disrespected. They're being taken for granted. They're being treated as literally maids in the house, right? Zero gratification and respect towards all the work that they do. And then people ask, why she does this man is horrible. But she accepts that. She accepts that. And this is her lesson in life. Sometimes those lessons are very harsh and I've done a video about this. You can find this on my YouTube. I think it's in my Healing and Spirituality playlist on YouTube, about deserving and entitlement. And I think this is the biggest blocker of people on journey. And I sometimes find that people who've been doing healing for quite a while, I hear them say, they already call themselves divine feminine, or, I'm healed, I'm this and that. But then you find them say, Why love is not coming? I deserve love. I deserve this and that. I deserve, right? Or we say this about other people, this person deserves, right? That's the biggest thing that you have to let go of. Life, school of life, this adventure of life is not about deserving. It's not about deserving. Our soul comes here to grow. So whatever plan our higher self, our oversoul makes for ourselves is the plan that's gonna help us grow. And unfortunately, as humans, we're very stubborn. We're very reluctant to see, to self-reflect. So those lessons become harsh. Those lessons become, what do I have to hit you with so you can finally see that how you live your life is just repeating patterns. Get out of this. Universe loves us. Universe wants to shake us. I know so many women who don't see that. It seems like, again, to an outside observer, that they're choosing a different partner, completely different man, different character, different, right? But the reason of choosing that person is same, and it's rooted in their shadow. And I always know it's going to end poorly. There's going to be, levels of that, the difficulty of that lesson always, but you have to see the pattern. One of the biggest tricksters of the healing journey is to see the pattern. We are so on autopilot, unaware of our wounds, of our shadows, of our automated responses, of the belief system of belief that we created based on shadows, based on conditioning, that we think it's fixed. And we choose things for ourselves. And we're on this hamster wheel. Okay, so if you really are one of those people that you feel, why do I constantly attract this type of a man? Or why can I find soulmates? Why do I attract? I talk about this all the time, and I'm going to say this to you once again. Truly healed people who have been through healing journey, been through shadow work, now we're centered, we have integrated all our shadows, we live a life of peace. We do not attract karmic relationships. We just do not, because we're so self-aware of all our already integrated shadows, that it just ain't gonna happen. All we have in our life are soulmates, because it's the patterns. It's not the viciousness of the universe and the evilness of fate that brings you these people. Is you. Is your frequency. Is the frequency of your shadows. So I know this is harsh, but those of you who are ready for this message, you will understand that. And if you resonated with this message, as always, please like, share, and comment. And if you feel like you're ready maybe for your shadow work, I invite you to sign up for a session. You can do that via my website. Link is in my bio. You can book through there, and that's the only way. That's truly the only way. Walk through our shadows to find a way towards light and stop the vicious cycle. Break the vicious cycle. I love you so incredibly much, and I hope you have an amazing week.